It's to consider ordinance number 12/2016, and that's an ordinance of Cecil Township adopting provisions of the 2015 International Fire Code as published by the International Code Council as the Cecil Township Fire Code, and it shall apply to all real property and construction activity within Cecil Township from the effective date forward. You can read the rest of that. We've had a couple hearings on that, and we didn't really get a lot of participation from businesses. Fire department members were here each time, and we got a lot of input from them. But I guess we're at the point where we got a proposed ordinance. Is there any more discussion? Any questions? Are we ready to make a motion? All right. I think you've been directed to Mr. Volz.
This proposed ordinance references I3 in 3 different places. When did we get an I3? Who did this? It's yours.
Excuse me?
Is this your work?
Yes.
Okay, did you intend for us to have an I3? Is there something I'm missing?
No.
Okay, well, it's on
Where's the reference? I didn't see it.
section 2. It's referenced several times. On page 3. Section 3A2. It's referenced twice there. I3.
Those are the locations where the storage of certain liquid fuels would be permitted. So we can administratively scratch out that typographical error. My mistake on that, I must have added that after going through the other districts.
Yeah, there's an I2, which is a heavy industrial,
Yes.
which all those chemicals would be, if they're permitted, that's where they would be.
Well, it's again on the next page as well, so what?
It would be in, section 3, the geographical limits. Subparts 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3 would all have that mistaken I3 designation. So I would move to strike that since Cecil Township does not in fact have one of those districts.
Good catch, Elizabeth.
Could it remain even though we don't have it, Chris?
Right, because we don't have the district, this is just saying that something would be allowed, so.
What does it hurt, or do we get any input from our fire guys?
Possibly you might have one down the road.
Right.
I take it out.
Because we don't have that district.
Yeah,
But
it's
who's
not,
to say we wouldn't in the future, and then we're missing out on the potential, so since it's not hurting to leave it in, why wouldn't we leave it
It's
in?
incorrect. It's a typo. It has to be taken out.
my recommendation, since we don't have one, it's my mistake, it should not have been there, so we can remove it, and when the time comes that there is an I3 district, all ordinance would be amended
If time comes when there's an I3 district and we forget to update the fire code, then, like everything else, we're gonna be up a creek without a paddle.
Well,
Do you have any other questions?
I'm sorry.
Do you have any other questions?
No, that's the only thing.
Anybody else have any questions?
No.
I would still suggest that we allow it in.
I do too, I agree with you.
The code is embellished, then
We don't have that. You're mentioning something we don't even have.
well, we'll cover
It's a typo though, right? You normally take out typos.
My only input would be that if there is a new zoning district created, it could be called something else entirely, so having the I3 designation wouldn't necessarily, have.
Yeah, let's move on. If somebody has a problem with it, you can just vote against it. Is there a motion to approve that new fire ordinance for Cecil Township?
I make that motion.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
second.
And second, of those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
Is that with or without the I3?
Without. It was a typo. It was corrected.
Okay.
For 190-2016 is to consider ordinance 1426. It's ordinance of Cecil Township, amending ordinance number 5-00 with a unified. Missed one?
No,
Amen.
I think you skipped the Coleman Road.
189, 2016, okay. It's ordinance number 13, 2016. It's an ordinance of Cecil Township establishing a weight limit on Coleman Road, located in Cecil Township, that proposes a 5-ton weight limit on Coleman Road between Route 50 here in Cecil and DePauli Road. Yeah, we spent a lot of money on that. In the prior years, we've had 2 slides that were fixed at over $50,000 each. And it's generally the only township road we have that's on the edge of a cliff with a stream at the bottom, so it's vulnerable. It was always a single lane country road, and it just became 2 lanes, and it's never going to get any better. So the more heavy traffic we can keep off it, the longer it'll last. We still not almost going to last, but hopefully this will help. So that's the purpose of it.
And as required, we do have a report from our township engineer recommending the 5-ton weight limit.
Well, yeah, we need that, actually, that was a requirement before we even consider it. Is there any comments or questions?
Question, a problem. The engineering and traffic study attached here to is Appendix A. Is that something that we can be, or at least I'd like to have a copy of it?
Can everybody hear her?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
No, well, please tell me when you can't hear me. This limitation, 5-ton weight limit, states, whereas the engineering and traffic study attached here to as Appendix A. I don't have it. Is this something that we can get?
We do, Elizabeth, and it will be kept on file in the township offices. I do have a copy with me right now, and
Okay, then I can get a copy.
Was it sent to any of us to review?
I believe so.
I can just summarize it for the board. PennDOT has a form for basic engineering traffic studies on local roads. So it asks you a number of different questions, but it leaves it open for a section called engineering judgment. That's the fine art of understanding what things can go wrong and what you feel from an engineering standpoint is the right thing to do with a road. As Tom has mentioned, I've been involved in multiple repairs to that road. There's a technical situation over there where we have a road that's built partly on cut and partly on fill. And on the low side of that road, I don't know specifically that there's ancient landslides in there or what are there, but I think that based upon the geotechnical data that we have, that I think it's prudent to put the minimum weight limit on there. We've accommodated Mr. Bednar through a special agreement. We've made a widening up on Grange Road to accommodate trucks. There's another way to get in there. So in my estimation, a 5-ton weight limit is the appropriate way to go, and that road will last a long time, and we won't have to worry about fixing additional landslides up there. So that's in essence what the study says, Elizabeth. Very simple form.
Thank you. On page 4, under M and N, I'm sorry, under N and...
I noticed that. We'll get that.
Okay.
Has anybody addressed this with Bob Bednar and made sure he understands that there's going to be a 5-ton weight limit and
Is that not,
ramifications to his business?
excuse me, is that not what the document says, or the signed document says that there was a 5?
Yeah, he's not allowed to bring any trucks up from Route 50 up to DePauli.
That's not what I'm asking. I said, has anybody discussed this with them?
Oh, yeah, he signed the agreement, yeah.
Any other questions? No. Is there a motion to adopt that?
I make that motion.
It's been moved
I'll second.
and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. For 190-2016, it's ordinance 14-2016 for transferring some property from zoning classification R1 to a C1 general commercial district. It's parcel number 4 in a Fairfield plan of lots located on Reserve Drive. I think Dan, first, I think you and Chris have to kind of highlight the board on the finals of the discussions.
Sure. Bruce, do you have that? That's good, Bruce. Members of the board,
Get the pointer so they can see, you know exactly.
sure.
Get him our pointer, please.
Okay, this, for everybody's information,
Stand one with it, you please hold that microphone so that, the other ones.
this is the Clear Park complex. If everybody's looking at the plan, north is oriented to the top of the sheet, so Interstate 79 north will be to the right and going up in this direction. Down here at the bottom of the sheet, over here in this cul-de-sac, this is the end of Reserve Drive. This is the new Reserve development, the apartment development here. These are the 3 soccer fields that have already been constructed in the park. There's a plan for a future development of an inner circle of activities involved in here, such as a concession stand, a small play area. They've not been built yet. The township was approached related to a request for rezoning, and at the same time, the developer made a request of gaining access through the Klinger Park property up to Reserve Drive. And if you look at the left-hand side of the paper, this is the proposed drive that goes in this circuitous direction around here and will touch on their property. This is the boundary line or the property line between the township's property and the Fairfield Associates property right here. To your left, you'll also see something else. This is the proposed connection to the Montour Trail. The Montour Trail being very much at the top of the sheet here. This pathway comes up and was planned to come around and work with the steep topography that works through here and coming up, and that was ultimately to get up to Reserve Drive. With this proposed situation here tonight on the driveway, Fairfield is offering they would obviously build the driveway to the property, and at the same time, they would actually be able to make a connection where we were going to have to continue up the hill with the connection to the Montour Trail. They would accommodate it by being on this side of the road, coming up and eventually hooking up the Reserve Drive, where we have another area where we build the trail further down. The second part of this is that they have agreed to provide some additional parking for Klinger Park. They would propose a drive off of their drive, which would provide us with about 16 parking spaces. This was always planned for a walking trail around the entire perimeter of the park. We would now have parking that could accommodate that walking trail, or people that might look to get onto this future Montour Trail connection by this parking being put in place. The last thing that the developer requested was sanitary sewage. There's a sanitary sewer up here in the Reserve development. If you recall, the township reserved the right to connect into that sewage. We are able to also accommodate their request for sewage, which would be the construction of a force main, which would come from a pump station. This is down below. They would install a force main up through the park, staying away from any of the amenities we have. They wouldn't disturb the existing fields, and they would position it in a location that it wouldn't impact anything in the future. And I believe they have offered some monetary value for that. So really my job here was just to, when they proposed something, to try to make sure that it made sense, at least from what I thought from an engineering standpoint, that it made sense. In my mind, this driveway, we were trying to put it somewhere where it wouldn't impact the park as it stands right now or in the future, and only enhance it. We thought that this would be the best location, and it's really up to the township to consider the proposal further. I can answer any questions. I didn't lay this out, their engineer laid it out. I just commented on his layout.
I'm with the construction